guys, what is up? It is time to make another recipe. So today we are going to make some easy Parker House rolls. And you can use them as like dinner rolls and like, I don't know, put butter or jam on it if you would like, or just eat it like as. So let's try this recipe inspired by my chef. So let's get started with this recipe. I got the list of ingredients right here, so just pause if you need to take a look. Alright guys, now let's get started with this recipe. So first off, we're going to measure out 1.5 cups of whole milk, or you can use almond milk or any type of liquid. Next off, we're going to heat up our milk to 100 to 110 degrees. And I will recommend doing this after you measure out all your dry ingredients so the milk doesn't cool down. So just heat it up for around 1 to 2 minutes and use a thermometer and measure it out properly. So as you can see, I'm going to stick a thermometer in it, and it's not around 100 yet, so I'm just going to throw it back in the microwave for 30-second increments until it gets to 100 to 110 degrees. So now our temperature is rising, and it's going to hit around 100, and we're pretty much perfect. So now let's go measure out our dry ingredients. So right here I got some all-purpose flour, and we are going to measure out 4 cups of it. So go get a heaping scoop of it, and then make sure you level it off with a palette knife like this to provide the most accurate measurement. But of course, using a scale would be more accurate than doing this. Just go ahead and make sure you are repeating this procedure properly, like so. And next off, we're going to measure out our sugar. So right here I got some granulated sugar, and we're just going to measure out 1.5 teaspoons, and make sure you level it off with a palette knife as well. Next off, we're going to measure out our salt, and we got 2.25 teaspoons of salt. You can use sea salt, kosher salt, doesn't matter. Just go ahead and make sure you level it off, and then go give it a quick stir. Now we got our yeast, so we are going to measure out 2.25 teaspoons of rapid rise yeast, but if you're using active dry yeast, you could go ahead and bloom it in your milk for around 10 minutes and add a little bit of sugar. Next off, we're going to cut our butter. So here we got 5 tablespoons of butter, and I'm just going to cut it in small chunks so it's easy to mix in our dough. Just go ahead and cut it up like so. And we are using the straight dough method right here. So we're just going to add everything in a bowl and combine it like that. Alright, now we are going to put our flour mixture into the KitchenAid, and make sure you have the dough attachment. So now we're going to put it on speed stir and just let the milk incorporate in it. So we are going to let this mix for around 10 minutes. But as it keeps getting incorporated and the mixture starts to come together, we're going to put the speed on a higher setting soon. Just go ahead and let it be on stir for around 2 minutes. And as you can see now, it's starting to become a dough ball, so we're just going to put it on around 4 and just let it keep on kneading. Next off, after our 10 minutes, we are going to spray our bowl with some Pam, and you want to make sure you have a pretty big bowl. And look how tacky and beautiful our dough ball is. I smoothed it out a little bit, and now we're going to put a plastic covering on top of it, saran wrap, and we're going to stick this in the fridge for overnight. And this helps it develop flavor, but if you don't have enough time to do that, just put it in a proofer for around 2 hours. Alright, after our dough has proofed overnight, you just want to let it go to room temperature for a couple hours, and you want to make sure you measure each ball from 1.5 to 1.7 ounces, and just follow my hand movements to roll out the ball. Now you want to place them in a 9x13 rimmed baking pan if you have one, but if you don't have any, use any type of baking dish you have. I'm using a 2 ceramic baking dish and 1 small loaf pan. And you want to make sure you lightly grease it before putting in your tiny little dough balls. So just go ahead and keep on measuring your dough balls until they're around 1.5 to 1.7 ounces once again. And make sure you give them a little space to let them proof up. So just go ahead and repeat the process. And after you have rolled out all your dough balls, you're going to let them proof for around 1 to 2 hours in a proofing machine. Or if you don't have it, just put it somewhere warm. Alright, so here is my other baking dish full of our dough. So just go ahead and cover it with a saran wrap and put it in the proofer for 2 hours. So here's my proofer, and we got about 36 minutes left, and here is all my dough. So look at how much more proof they look. So here they look really expanded and they've grown. And here's the other dish, and that is my loaf pan right there. I just rolled out a dough and just rolled it up into like a tiny little roll. Now we're gonna bake our dinner rolls. So set your oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. And after it's done being preheated, just brush the dinner rolls with some melted butter really quick, and this will give it a nice finished look. Alright, after you have coated your dinner rolls, now let's bake them. So place them on a middle rack and make sure you rotate it at the halfway mark. And if they look a little too brown at one point, just put a tin foil on top of it. So as you can see, our dinner rolls are almost done. They got a little bit more time on it, and I'm just putting a piece of tin foil on top of it so it doesn't burn while it's being baked. Now our dinner rolls is done. So now we're just gonna pull it out and generously coat it with some butter and a little bit of salt on top for the flavor. Just go ahead and get your melted butter again and just coat your dinner rolls, and look how gorgeous they look. And repeat it with the other tray if you have another tray. But if you have a tray that's big enough to bake all this at once, then do it in one shot. Got some sea salt right here, and we're just gonna lightly sprinkle it. Now let's taste test. Alright guys, here we go. Our fresh Parker House rolls, or aka dinner rolls. Now let's give it a try while it's still warm. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab one, and look how nice and developed this roll is. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this rip. Amazing. Ooh, it's still nice and warm. Let's give it a try. Wow. This roll is still nice and fluffy. Our gluten development is very nice, where we still get that nice chewiness in the pull. Overall, 8 out of 10. Not bad. Very easy to make. Takes less than 3 hours to make if you want, but you can do it overnight, just like me. Overall, the rolls come out pretty good. This will be nice with like if you had like some kind of like steak juice or something. This would be amazing. Amazing. Well, that is it. Please be sure you make this because it is actually amazing. And thanks to Chef M. Goodbye.